Hello and welcome back to Bipolar Talks, your mindful and honest space to explore what it really means to live with bipolar disorder. If you're new here, thank you for being here. And if you're returning, welcome back to a place where your story is seen, your struggle is honored, and your healing matters. Before we begin, I want to ask something simple but meaningful. If you find these conversations helpful or comforting in any way, please take a moment to like this episode. Leave a comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. You never know how far your small act of kindness can ripple out and make a difference in someone else's life. So today, we're going to talk about something that might surprise you. We spend a lot of time, rightfully so, talking about the painful, confusing, and isolating parts of bipolar disorder. And let's be real, this illness can be brutal. It can knock us down in ways we never saw coming. It can shake our relationships, our identity, our stability, and our sense of trust in ourselves. But today, I want to try something different. Today we're going to look at the other side of the coin, the hidden strengths, unexpected lessons, and even gifts that can sometimes emerge from living with bipolar disorder. Not because the pain doesn't matter, not because it's all sunshine and silver linings, but because when you live through the storm long enough, sometimes you start to notice things growing in the cracks. Before we dive in, please hear this. If you're currently going through a depressive episode, if you're feeling fragile, angry, numb, or just not in the right headspace, this might not be the episode for you right now. Talking about the positives of bipolar can feel invalidating when you're suffering, and that is okay. Your feelings are valid, and you don't need to force yourself to hear something that doesn't land right today. Press pause. Come back when you're ready. We'll still be here. What would it be like to explore your bipolar experience without only focusing on the pain, but without denying it either? Let's start with something profound: resilience. Living with bipolar disorder means facing emotional and psychological extremes that most people will never fully understand. Mania can launch you into a world that feels exhilarating, terrifying, and disorienting all at once. Depression can pull you down so deep that even breathing feels like work. And mixed episodes? They scramble your brain and heart until nothing makes sense. But here's the thing: we keep going. We find our way back. Again and again. We learn to rebuild from rubble, to sit in the discomfort, to ride the wave and wait for the calm. That's not weakness, that's resilience. And every time we survive, we become just a little more equipped for the next storm. That doesn't mean we're invincible, but it does mean we've developed a capacity for surviving the unthinkable. Can you think of a time when you felt completely broken and yet somehow you kept going? That's resilience in action. Next, let's talk about something most people overlook: intentional self-care. When you live with a mood disorder, you learn, often the hard way, that your daily habits matter more than most. Sleep isn't just sleep. It's medicine. Food isn't just fuel. It's emotional stability. That extra cup of coffee or missed workout or late-night Netflix binge. It might seem harmless to others, but for us, it can mean the difference between balance and a breakdown. Over time, many of us develop an awareness of our bodies and minds that others never have to learn. We know how much sleep keeps us grounded. We know what alcohol does to our brain chemistry. We know how a morning walk or a 10-minute meditation can shift the whole day. And while it might have started as survival, it often becomes wisdom. What's one healthy habit you've kept because you know it keeps your brain safer, not just your body? Now this one might be my favorite: empathy. Living with bipolar teaches us how to be present with pain, not just our own, but others too. When someone tells us they're hurting, we don't try to fix them. We sit with them. We see the storm behind their words, the ache in their eyes. We've felt misunderstood, minimized, and judged. And because of that, we try harder not to do the same to others. This empathy goes beyond words. It becomes a way of living. We sense what others miss. We become the person others feel safe talking to, not because we have perfect advice, but because we understand. We listen without flinching. Have you ever been the one person someone opened up to because you just got it? That's your pain becoming your power. Let's shift to something deeply expressive: creativity. It's no myth. Bipolar disorder often comes with a heightened sense of imagination, vision, and connection. In moments of clarity, or even in bursts of hypomania, our minds can come alive with ideas. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's designing, building, dancing, daydreaming. Our thoughts are fast, layered, and alive. Of course, there's danger when creativity slides into obsessive mania. But when we learn to channel that energy mindfully, it can lead to incredible things. Some of the world's greatest artists, scientists, and leaders lived with bipolar disorder. They turned storms into symphonies, struggles into stories. It doesn't have to be world-changing. Sometimes, it just has to be yours. When's the last time you created something that helped you express what words couldn't say? Now let's talk about passion. When we're balanced, or even when we're gently elevated, our love for life can be infectious. We feel things fully. We commit to what we care about. Whether it's a project, a person, a belief, or a hobby, we dive in headfirst. We light up a room. And when our energy is steady, we can be the most enthusiastic, inspiring, and motivated people to be around. Yes, this passion can become too much. It can flip into impulsiveness or obsession. But in its healthy form, it brings joy not just to us, but to those we love. What lights you up from the inside out? And when was the last time you let yourself truly feel it? All right, here's a tender topic: intimacy and sexuality. Hypersexuality is real, and it's dangerous when unmanaged. But when we are grounded, emotionally connected, and consensually engaged, our intensity can become a source of deep, soulful connection. We love deeply. We express fully. We crave closeness and vulnerability. And when those elements align, it can lead to intimacy that is raw, honest, and unforgettable. It's about trust. It's about presence. And yes, it's about passion. When our sexuality is channeled from a place of safety and mutual respect, it can become a meaningful, beautiful part of who we are. Have you ever had a moment of connection that felt like more than just physical, that felt like truth? Let's dig into something more cerebral: philosophical reflection and self-awareness. Living with bipolar forces us to ask hard questions. Am I feeling this way because of something real, or is it my symptoms? Is this decision grounded or impulsive? Would I still believe this if I weren't elevated or depressed? This constant reflection, though exhausting, creates something profound: self-awareness. We begin to observe our own minds. We develop a sense of metacognition. We know how to pause and ask ourselves, is this true, or is this temporary? Have you caught yourself lately reflecting more deeply about your own thoughts or reactions? That's you evolving. We're almost there, but let's not skip this one: emotional endurance. Each time we fall and rise, we build something lasting inside us. A quiet kind of knowing. A this won't last forever kind of wisdom. Many people crumble at life's first sign of adversity, but we've trained in fire. We've walked through storms and learned how to breathe through it. That doesn't mean we're immune to pain, but it does mean we often face it with a level of courage, tenacity, and insight that others never needed to develop. What's something hard you've endured recently? And how did your past experiences help you through it? A fascinating perspective. Hypomanic traits and innovation. Some researchers believe that traits like elevated energy, visionary thinking, high risk tolerance, and intense focus, which often show up in hypomania, have driven major innovation throughout history. Immigrants, entrepreneurs, inventors, they often share these traits. Bipolar energy, when directed with awareness, can create impact. It's not about glorifying mania. It's about recognizing the brilliance that can emerge when we learn to manage our fire without burning down the house. What's an idea or dream you've had that felt ahead of its time? Could you revisit it with balance? And finally, let's close on this: realism and critical problem solving. Depressive episodes often push us to face uncomfortable truths. We think critically. We anticipate risks. And while others might live in blissful avoidance, we're often the ones saying, "But what if?" And those questions can lead to better planning, more grounded decisions, and sharper insights. Combine that with the divergent, innovative thinking that sometimes shows up in hypomania, and you've got someone who not only sees the storm but also builds the shelter. How have your darker thoughts actually helped protect or prepare you in the long run? So there you have it. 10 plus reflections on the often unseen strengths and capacities that can grow from living with bipolar disorder. Again, this isn't about romanticizing the illness. It's about giving ourselves permission to see our whole selves, not just the broken parts, but the brave ones too. Let's open this up. What have you gained, learned, or discovered through your bipolar experience? Leave a comment and let's hold space for each other. And if you felt seen today, please like, subscribe, share, or become a supporter through the Patreon link in the description. Your support helps this mindful space continue to grow. As always, thank you so much for being part of the Bipolar Talks community. Be gentle with yourself. Take a deep breath. You are stronger than you know. Until next time, stay mindful, stay curious, and stay connected to your truth. Disclaimer: this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional diagnosis, treatment, or mental health support. Always consult a licensed expert for personal guidance.